young man. I owe I used to be a young man when I came into the city council some 24 years ago, but now I am one of the elder statesmen here in the city of Chicago. And I will tell you, it has been an honor and a privilege to be part of the renaissance going on here in the 9th Ward. If you all have not been following things that are going on in this ward, we have created over 2,000 jobs in the last 12 years here in the Rose and Pullman community. And we have over $1 billion of public-private investment creating those jobs. So we are on the move creating jobs and opportunity here in the 9th Ward. And I will tell you without question that the A. Philip Randolph Museum, under the leadership of David and Dr. Hughes, they are at the forefront of this renaissance. And we have to give them so much credit for constantly keeping the black movement alive here in our community. Because we know a lot of times people come in and they want to hijack the history of the African American community. But they refuse to let that happen. So I want to thank both of them from the bottom of my heart for the movement that you all are keeping alive here in our community. So thank you so much. Give it up to them. And so as a community, we have to continue to do our part. When I tell you what is our part is to make sure that we are the eyes and ears of our community. To continue to make sure that when you see something, say something. Because we know we have challenges in our community. And those challenges are not going to go away just because we want them to go away. They're only going to go away if the community organize and mobilize and take our community back. And so I want to just put a charge to everyone that's here, that's listening. Understand, this is our community. We have to fight for our community. And those are the things that I do every single day. Every morning when I wake up, I try to say, what am I going to do to make my community a better place? And that's what everyone needs to do. So do your part. Join some organization, join some movement in our community, and I guarantee you the fruits of your labor will pay off, and you will see our community a better place to live and play every single day. So thank you all so much. God bless you, and congratulations on this new renaissance we got going on 104th in Maryland.
So this is the first phase of what we call the Community Economic Development Empowerment Project. Originally it was called the Community Economic Development Power Project. But my mentor over there, I just seen him walking around with his fresh red suit on, Breathing Fellows, waving your hand up. So I want to thank God for this gentleman right here, because he's been standing in solidarity with us for some years. And he gave me some enlightenment that said we need to empower. It's not just about power. So the CDEP 2020 is a neighborhood stabilization plan that we launched. And the goal is to basically increase the property value over here from within. We want to make sure that the people who have investment over here get more dollars for their investment. We want to make sure that the people in this neighborhood feel a part of all of this renaissance that's going on here. So with this Community Economic Development Empowerment Project, we're going to have multi-phases. The A. Philip Randolph, the Jesse Jackson Civil Rights Wing is going to be the first phase. The next phase will be the Jesse White Labor Research Library. After that, we're going to do a Dr. Hughes Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters, Ladies Auxiliary Women's History Museum. It's important that we honor the contributions of women in labor because they're not necessarily held up as much as they should be. And because of the work that Dr. Hughes has done for the last 28 years, we want to make sure that we erect that story. In addition to that, we'll have Pullman Porters Road, which will be a living, breathing tourism and hospitality district, if you will, where people will be able to be outside and really engage in hospitality businesses. One of those hospitality businesses we have is Sugar Rim Bartender right here. Our founder right here, Chantal Grant, is very, very pivotal in helping us carve out a new way to encourage people to get into the hospitality industry. So these are and then the last thing we'll be doing is the A. Philip Randolph Cultural Complex, the Cultural Factory Complex. We want to be able to carve out a space where people can create tourism and hospitality businesses right in the community. Everybody's not going to want to have a job, but if you want a job, as you heard all the reviews say, there's plenty up here for you. So on this block, we're going to be doing workforce development. We're going to be doing apprenticeship programs and all these different things so that people don't necessarily have to leave their neighborhood in order to get the resources that they need. Everything they need is right here with the help of great leaders, great leadership like State Rep. Mitch Smith, Alderman Beal, Congresswoman Robin Kelly. All of these great people have helped us do this. And it's important that we make this connection for historical context. In 1925, 200 gentlemen from Chicago boarded a train and went to Harlem, New York. At Harlem, New York, a couple of blocks down from the Apollo Theater is where the Elks Lodge is. And that's where they had the first meeting under the leadership of A. Philip Randolph from Harlem, who said, this is what this is about. making you master your economic fate. So he charged these brothers here in Chicago to stand up for themselves as men and stand up against the company that they were fighting and start a union. And that's why we honor the contributions of April and Randolph. But that's more specifically why it's significant that this urban renaissance, if you will, which is our operation and our mission to, in the spirit of Sankofa, bring back the old to the new. So there was the Harlem Renaissance, there was Chicago Renaissance, and both of those times influenced our culture so much. So now we have the urban Renaissance. This is a culmination of the two. Because energy never dies, it's just transferred. So all of those contributions that were made by our elders and our ancestors, we want to make sure that that work is not in vain. So that's why we reached out to this young man over here, Dame Dash, who's a creator, if you will, to me, of two black billionaires. People, don't give this gentleman enough credit for being able to do that, for seeing a vision, being vigilant and resilient in an industry that was not dominated by people that looked like him. But he went in there, kicked the doors down, and made sure that people respect our history, heritage, and culture, and made it a new thing. So we're thankful for you, Mr. Dash, for being here, all of your contributions. In addition to that, our congresswoman was born right down the street from the Elks Lodge in Harlem, New York, Robin Kelly. So we're thankful for that connection and that divine alignment, if you will. So I'm going to stop talking now, but I want to bring up some of our esteemed speakers. So we'll start with Congresswoman. Would you mind coming up first?
David, Dr. Hughes, Alderman Beal, Rep. Smith, and Commissioner Miller, as I always say, my commissioner and guest, thank you so much for being here. And I do feel doubly honored because I represent this district, and as David said, I was born in Harlem, New York, so I feel super connected to the urban renaissance. When I became the Congresswoman, Dr. Hughes sat me right down, brought me here, and told me what I needed to know. And I hope she has felt and knows that I've been in her corner on this journey, in David's corner, ever since she had me come over. And one thing I'm extremely proud of, this year in our appropriations, I got $1.5 million that will be coming to this museum to help her with her vision. And the other thing we're hoping for, and I know the Alderman is hoping for this, that we can get the legislation finally passed. Pullman, is a historic monument, but we want it to be a historic national park. So that's the legislation that Dick Durbin and I are working on, and we hope that it comes to the floor when we go back to D.C. This month, and that we can get it passed, and then that will take in this portion also, so we'll all be a national park together. So, Dr. Hughes, you're an amazing, phenomenal woman, and you don't take no for an answer, but you definitely get things done, and it has enhanced my life and enhanced me as a Congresswoman just to know you and to see what is really possible. So thank you so much, and it's an honor to be with you.
Now I'd like to bring up my fellow family alumni, State Rep. Nick Smith. Come on up here, Rattler.
Thank you, David. And is it still morning? Good morning, everybody. What a great day in the 34th district. Yeah, the Alderman always says a nice boy. This is also the 34th representative district, my district. My name is Nick Smith. I'm the state representative over here, and I'm proud to be a partner in the A. Philip Randolph Pullman Porter Museum Renaissance. I'd like to add another $1 million that the state is providing for this expansion project. And, David and Dr. Hughes in the process of getting that paperwork together right now, is it right? Okay, all right. Cross those T's and dot those I's and get this money back in our community. And this money will help not only expand this museum, but create jobs, and like David said before, workforce development training for our young people. I mean, it's to the limit, there's unlimited possibilities out here. And that's why I'm proud to be a partner. And thank you, Dr. Hughes and David, for keeping the memory of A. Philip Randolph alive and the history of the Pullman Porters and how important they are to the labor movement on this Labor Day. So thank you all for coming, and thank you for allowing me to partner with you.
There's a huge connection in the city of Chicago. another one of my mentors who recently made his transition into ancestorship, Harold Lucas, alongside Dr. Hughes and Paula Robinson, carved out what we call the Great Migration Pullman Porters Blues Trail. A lot of people don't know that the Pullman Porters didn't live here in Pullman. They lived in Bronzeville, but they traveled here on a day-to-day basis. So from Bronzeville all the way here, we once again have carved out a space called the Great Migration Pullman Porter Blues Trail. And on that trail, we're going to have some footprints that our event producer, our cultural bodyguard, Ms. Rita Lee, has helped us put together. So we're going to create our own Walk of Fame. You know, when we put those footprints down. We're going to start off with Harold Lucas's footprints. But that's important, you know, that we make that context, because the Great Migration was such a historical movement. Between 1916 and 1970, 7 million blacks left the South. 500,000 came to Chicago and planted their feet here. And right at the heart of that, the 3rd and the 4th Ward, we're proud to have some giants here with us. The Tillman family, the family of Dorothy Tillman. Please stand up, please. They've done some great work at, you know, carving out that area and just being a part of that Great Migration. So we're very, very delighted to have them here. Thank you, guys. Genuinely appreciate you. I'd next like to bring up one of our descendants. At the museum, we have a national registry of Pullman Porter descendants, people from all around the world that are descendants of Pullman Porters. Michelle Obama, Taraji Henson, Whoopi Goldberg, Tom Joyner, all of these great people. But we're very proud to have our own personal supporter who's elected to be a very, very prestigious businesswoman, a very, very powerful, impactful leader, Cook County Commissioner Donna Miller.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's really great to be a participant here in this groundbreaking ceremony at the National A. Philip Randolph Pullman Porter Museum. Thank you, Dr. Hughes, for keeping this passion and living with this passion and purpose and keeping the focus on this amazing project for so long. It's great to be here with my Congresswoman, my state rep, Alderman Beal, as well as all the other great people who are here, David Dash. I'm so honored that you're participating in this and being here to share in this history. And I'm happy to be here today with my husband and son as well. So when we think about the revitalization of this neighborhood and what this means to the community, it speaks to everything that the legacy of the Pullman Porters. It puts a focus on what it means to have legacy and the families that are here today and that are represented, and what it means to the labor movement. I am really proud to have known my great-grandfather, Norman Robinson, who was a Pullman porter on the Santa Fe Railroad. Think about what transportation meant to this country. It meant the expanded opportunities, it built the middle class with good paying jobs, and it provided blacks the ability to take our news across the country from our black newspapers like the Chicago Defender. The Pullman porters had dignified jobs, and I can always say that my grandpa Norman was just that, a very distinguished gentleman. He always wore a suit, a tie, and a hat every single day. And families were made stronger by these jobs. Grandpa Norman was able to see my grandfather become a colonel in the United States Army, see his great-granddaughter, me, graduate from college. He was at my graduation. And this is what legacy is all about. I look forward to this museum and this neighborhood to be truly part of the urban renaissance as we move forward to continue to build our strong families, our strong legacy, and our strong community. Thank you for allowing me to be here, Dr. Hughes, and always keeping this project in the forefront. It's great to be a part of this.
Okay, at this time I'd like to call to the podium Mr. Dash, so he can speak about a couple of things that he has going on. There's some things that he's a part of that I'm very impressed with, and I want all of you guys to know about those things so that you can understand the synergy that we're creating here. Mr. Dash.
Thank you. First, I'd like to say I'm inspired. I'm really loving Chicago. You know, I know people from Chicago, but I never really got to spend time with those people in Chicago. And, you know, in looking to do different things and control certain narratives, I got with Rita in the Web3 space. And the first thing she wanted me to do was see Chicago, the real Chicago. And for me, there's been a misperception of Chicago just based on what I see on TV and social media. This is how I naturally feel. And when I got here, I felt completely safe. And I've been around nothing but intellectuals. But the thing I'm most inspired about is that culturally, we are taking care of each other. We are owning the buildings, and we are the ones that are helping us culturally without expectation of anyone else helping us. This is a perfect example of exactly the logical way we are supposed to move. No one's gonna love us more than us, and our expectation of other people taking care of us will always disappoint us. And our thing is to break these patterns and cycles where we're never landlords, so we can't make laws and we can't make rules. But this is a dream. The Tillmans are a dream. Protecting art, us protecting our own art on our own terms. That's a dream. And we're living in it. And, you know, being that we're in this Web3 space, a lot of what we look at is algorithms. But what I've been saying is I don't need a computer to tell me the algorithm. I look at life. In the last 100 years, I've seen divide and conquer. I've seen people act like land is theirs, there's not, and sell it to us, try to make rules, make us think we're number 2 when we're number 1. And that can't happen in Web3. We're not going to let that happen. And what we have to understand now is that racism is different. We can't be so obvious about it. So you got to watch the truth. And colonization is going to be different. It's not going to be someone just taking land, it's going to be somebody tricking you out of it. And the land isn't physical, it's digital. So Web3 is a space where creative can have full control if the narrative is right, if the creative makes the rules. And what I look at is creative, the number one reason why they can't be creative is because of lack of funds. So we put together a system along with Network where we've gotten the land, put a museum. We're going to do a Pullman Porter museum in Web3 with Network and with their utilities. Thank you. See, the thing I want everybody to understand is in the web, things are a lot cheaper. To build the building in web doesn't cost as much. It's going to be about how we value ourselves in that world. So we have to make the narrative and we have to lead by example, and this is it. I call this oxygen world. And it's been rough for us in oxygen world. And in order for there to be a change, we have to do things different. And this is different. Us looking out for us breaking bread with us keeping the money with us. I just left a school, that G Herbo boy, he's 26 years old. He's clear, probably based on his survival skills, knowing his skills, knowing what he's going to do with his opportunities and leading by example. This is the new cool. Us helping us is cool. This is fly. You know, better than any record sold, any car bought, taking care of the people that love you and that protected you, and making sure that the people that fought for you, that your life isn't in vain. Everything your families did before now was for this time. They trained and made it easier for us to do it, but if we don't do it, it's our fault. But y'all doing it. And I want the rest of the world to see this. I want the rest of the world to see this Chicago. What I know is when they pretend something's one way, it's always another, and there's always a reason. They can't hide your intellect and how y'all unite, and how y'all, the philosophy and the bookstores and the food. Like, I'm really impressed. So I thank y'all for giving me the opportunity to be a part of this kind of history. Rita, thanks for showing me real Chicago. You know, I was on the beach. It was like a lake beach. The only thing I'm regretting right now is that I didn't wear a proper suit. I'm sorry, I didn't know. But y'all deserve everything that y'all getting, and also the rest of the world needs to see you. And if nobody talks about this, I will. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in Web3. Thank you. Oh yeah, and also, I'm part of something called the OSG. It's 200 black principals all around the country. There's a couple of principals in Chicago. But again, our thing is language and curriculum, and we want to teach our people in the language that doesn't trigger us, that we understand, and the things that are really going to equip us for the future. You know, space travel, Web3, being self-sufficient, teaching how to pass laws. And thank you, all of y'all. You know, you're here. I know Andre Carson, Congressman Carson, I was just there. I just don't see this kind of black unity and this type of productiveness so often. I hear about the complaints the questions, but y'all bringing the answers. This is actual action. So y'all should all give yourselves a round of applause, please. And thank you. I appreciate y'all, and I look forward to the future. Bye.
Okay, at this point, we'll take any questions from media that might be here.
Can you talk a little bit more about what the phases are going to be? I mean, you named them, but can you say a little bit more about what they're going to be and what the time element is?
Sure. So if you look around the city, county, state, you see if you look around the city, county, and state, you'll see a lot of different projects that are ready. Some may be 40 million, 50 million, $60 million developments that go maybe into one building. Our goal is to be better stewards of our money by a proof of concept model of what we've been able to do here at the museum for 28 years on a shoestring budget. We absolutely have champagne taste and beer money. So we've mastered the art of being a good steward. So we're raising a capital stack, $30 million, in order to do this. So the first phase of the museum is $5.3 million. And we're going to develop, once again, the Jesse White Labor Research Library, which will be a specialty library under the state library system. We'll also do, once again, the Dr. Hughes, and just for full disclosure, she didn't name it that herself. She's not that vain. I surprised her with it because it's actually erected in a building that we used to live in. That we almost lost our life in 1999. The building was burned down while we were still in there. So we, by the grace of God, we were able to make it out of there. So as we prayed on that porch, we said, we will not be moved, and we will continue to do the work that you sent us here to do. I want to erect in that building the Dr. Hughes Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters Ladies Auxiliary Women's History Museum. That is where we're going to be able to honor the contributions of the Pullman maids and all of the different women in the union who work. If you look at this picture, you'll see women in that picture scattered around, right? The original name of the union was Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters, Dining Car Waiters, and Maids. So in our community, we have always stood in solidarity with our women. That was never a thing that we needed to be questioned on. If you look inside the museum, we have a lot of different posters that have depictions of their meetings. We have the book of proceedings of the Ladies Auxiliary. So we want to go more into that story, tell the behind the scenes. And we're going to have a Madam C.J. Walker wing, because Madam C.J. Walker was very instrumental in giving them the blueprint in order to raise funds. The Ladies Auxiliary raised funds clandestinely for the Brotherhood through bake sales. April Randolph's wife had a beauty parlor, used a lot of Madam C.J. Walker's products. So in that building, once again, it's going to be a full, living, breathing monument to the courageous acts of our women. And then on top of that, once again, we'll have the Pullman Porters Row, and that's the outside tourism and hospitality pavilion. And then, of course, we're going to do some more parking. We're going to do a parking lot as well. And finally, the April of Randolph Cultural Factory Complex. And that's going to be a big deal, because it will give us an opportunity to provide more community space for people to have meeting spaces, more food options, just an opportunity for us to collectively come together. But before we finish all those plans, we're going to have about a year long of community engagement, where we talk to the residents in this community and find out specifically what they need and what they're lacking, so that we can answer the call of what they're doing. We can't sit back and watch the news and then point our fingers at the elected officials and say, oh, you ain't doing this, you ain't doing that. They're doing what they can do, but they need help. So we're here to stand in solidarity with them with the work that they're already doing, so that we can help continue that mission.
What's your timetable for all of this?
So we should be done with the museum by Labor Day next year. So hopefully we'll be back for our ribbon cutting. And then after that, everything is going to be going sporadically. And guys, some of these projects will happen simultaneously. Any other questions before we move on? Okay. Now, Mr. Dash, we're going to be headed down to the factory site shortly. So if there are people that want to get pictures, Mr. Dash, we're going to do them very, very quickly and in order. We're not going to have time for everybody to pull out their phone. Hey, can you get this button? We're not going to have time for that. We have some professional photographers out here. All the pictures will be available on our website. You can go there and download them. Hopefully that'll be another tricky way for us to get you to go to our website and support what we have going on. We'll line up over there on the wall. We'll line up in front of that poster right there, and we'll take the pictures. Yes, sir.
Can I ask Mr. Dash a question?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah.
How you doing? I'm well, man. You believe in manifestation, right?
100% better know how to dream.
All right. This is something I manifested 25 years ago when I was an intern at Relativity. I met you. You said one day we'll work together. I'd like to think that this moment has happened. I have a question. You said yourself that you are an industry conqueror. I heard you in an interview saying that. What's in the future for you? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? What industry are you looking to conquer now?
Web3. But it's not an industry, it's a whole lifestyle. You know, I think Web3 is going to be important for every aspect just because of the tracking of it. But again, finding the right partner in the network that can, and their utilities can make every dream you have come true, not so expensive, and being able to make sure that a creative never has to ask and they can do what they want. And also monetize it. You know, we just, the algorithm has to change is starving artists. We want full artists so that they can empower other artists. Thank you. Any other questions?
I have a question, David. I know you walked off. David. Yes, I'm here. Alfred Edmond Jr. with Black Enterprise. Very impressed with what you're doing here. Just a couple things. We saw each other at Howard Washington Cultural Center a couple of days ago with Damon. But I want to ask you two things. One, what's the best way for those of us in the community to donate to the program? The website, social media handles, with that information.
Absolutely. Everything's accessible from our website.
And what's the URL?
Yeah, PullmanPorterMuseum.com. Once again, PullmanPorterMuseum.com. You can go right there and there'll be information on everything.
Take money and Bitcoin.
Yeah, we take money, Bitcoin, and the foot. You know what? Ms. Lee, which one coming up and telling us?
What is your social media handle?
APR Pullman Museum on Instagram.
Can't hear you.
A. Philip Randolph, Pullman Porter Museum. Once again, on the website, everything's right there. Just go to the website, PullmanPorterMuseum.com.
We got to train in public. So in order for this information that you get frustrated about when people are not donating, if they don't know where to donate, you can't just tell them it's there. Specifically tell them what can they donate and how would it benefit them if they do donate. President David.
Thank you. She gets me together. So once again, you can go to the website. You can donate in Bitcoin. You can donate through PayPal. We accept all of those. And what you're donating to is our several different programs. So our Youth and Young Adult Division, Museum 44, where hip hop meets history. We did that because we wanted to represent a presidential lens of telling our own stories. We started that in 2009 after Good Morning America came here and did a segment on us. Also, you're donating to our Green Initiatives Program Division. And also you're donating to our A. Philip Randolph Advocacy Training Program. And we started that during the civil unrest that was going on because we wanted to give a more contextual idea of what people can do to stand up and use their voice as younger people, as opposed to thinking running in the store was actually about to do something. So those are the plethora of things that you're donating to. But once again, at the website, you can get to it. And most importantly, the new thing that we're launching is the Footprint Project. Would you mind talking about that?
Sure. In order for history not to be erased, we have to know the steps that was taken to make them. And in those steps, we're going to have the legacy of everybody here. Their footprints won't be erased. And when you look at what does it take to stand up and look straight and be strong, you look up there, and that's the reflection. And each footprint, from the Bronzeville here, from the monument here, from Gary back, we're going to know who took those steps to create our future.
Can you tell us your name and title?
My name is Rita Lee, and trust in the process of manifesting greatness is what we're here for. We spoke about this last year. Dr. Hughes, Team Pisces, this is what we're here to do, is to celebrate each other, not tear each other down because they taught us that because we didn't want to get them taken away. Thank you.
Somebody else had a question? Yes, sir.
First, I want to thank David Peterson, Dr. Hawkins, and the rest of the representatives here. Dr. Hughes. And the rest of the representatives here, Damon Dash, thank you for being here. And I want to thank the Pullman Porter Museum for staying connected with this community. Because I tell everyone that I speak to, I said, if you go across 111 and see that museum, the Pullman Museum, and you come here, you get our history. And that's what we need to keep alive, our history, how we contribute to the Pullman Porter Museum and everything, and how our people help build the Pullman Porter. And I just thank everybody for being here. And that's it. Thank you all for being here.
So now what we're going to do is transition over here to do our ceremonial dirt piece. So we're gonna go over here. Get on that side, okay.
Yeah. We want the back shot. We want the back shot. On this side. If you don't mind. Dr. Hughes, on this side. Right here in the middle, Dr. Hughes. Okay. David, you're just gonna kind of just throw it that way. That way. You want that shot. You want that shot. Okay.
Don't get any on me, Dr. Hughes.
Dirt or manure?
Hard to get fertilized.
That is the shovel, right there.
Okay.
Back your shovel in the middle, right there. Oh, we got it. Your shovel right there. Okay. David, you're right here. All right. All right, David, I can fit you in right here. And Robbie's gonna be on the other side of you.
No, it's too big.
Right here. And everyone, this is just for, like ceremonial, so we just need the dirt. We want them, everybody in the dirt. We want to make sure we get that shot, and then just a nice shot of them just scooping the dirt and throwing it out. That looks so fashionable.
Just look here, right here, one time. Hand on the shovel. Right here. Everybody here, down at this camera. Everybody here, down at this camera. Thank you. Beautiful.
Over here.
Hey, don't freeze. Let's hit it, y'all.
All right, let's get that. Let's get the shot and throw in the dirt. Alderman, if you can count us down.
1, 2, 3. All right, there we go. There we go. There we